Hey guys, it's Kyle from Higher Vibration here. Today I want to go over our new song I and kind of go into what makes the song what it is, and just break down the different moving parts in it. For those of you who don't know, this whole album is self-produced. I mixed it myself, I recorded it, and I sent the mixed stems to our drummer's brother Aiden Sloppy, who mastered it for us. So I have the whole session here, and as you can see, there are a lot of tracks in the song, and we're gonna go into them and just basically go over how the song works. So first I'm gonna go over the vocals because I think they're really interesting. And I think most people kind of gravitate towards that, so yeah. So the lead vocal itself is pretty typically like processed, standard reverb, delay, compression, and everything. So here's what that sounds like.
Well, we never were the type to work the 9 to 5, to be complacent with our lives and nothing more to strive for. Going round and round was becoming
so you can hear that there's a lot of reverb and like delay. That's why you hear like the words repeating and stuff. That gives the vocals more space and makes it feel more natural and sit right in the mix. I feel like I used a little more delay than what you would typically find on a song, but hey, I like me some delay. So the vocals are also doubled up, meaning there is other tracks that are singing the same parts, just to kind of emphasize certain things in the song and certain lyrics. So with the doubles, it sounds like this.
Lives and nothing more to strive for. Going round and round was becoming such a bore. I had to find a new way, had to open a new door. Then came.
So I'll actually move it to the chorus because I feel like it's more emphasized there.
Cause even when the sky is falling from above,
So you can hear that it expands it. Like there's one pan completely left in your ear, and there's one pan completely right, and then there's the center one. So it just gives it a more stereo spread. And then my favorite part about the vocals and all of our music is the harmonies on them. Vocal harmonies are the quickest way to my heart. I love vocal harmonies so much. So I'll break these down and kind of add them in as we go. So Jake, our bass player for this, actually did record harmonies for this song. There's some songs on the album where he didn't do the harmonies for, but he did for this song. He does what's called thirds, which is basically in music terms, every note is a step, and in a scale you have the first, which is where you start, the second, and the third. It's basically just he's two notes above me, and it creates a cool harmony. So I'll play it just his part and then add mine in. His harmonies are also doubled.
Even when the sky falling from above.
And then you add the vocals into that, and it opens it up and sounds like this.
Even when the sky is falling from above, I know we will.
Smooth. I love it. Love vocal harmonies. And then I believe I did some falsetto ones. Falsetto's like your head voice like this. So yeah. Just a few more notes above Jake, and those sound like this.
Even when the sky falling from above.
Kind of sounds like Mickey Mouse. But I'll slowly add the other harmonies in.
Even when the sky falling from above.
And then the lead.
I know we will always overcome to the highest of the high.
And then on top of those, I did basically the fifths, but an octave lower, which is technically a perfect fourth from the root note, but lower. Instead of going up, you go down. And those ones sound like this.
Even when the sky is falling from above, I know highest of the highs to the lowest of lows. I know we have.
And then I guess there's a higher octave as well. So let's see what that one is. I honestly don't remember tracking that one.
Even when the sky is falling
Yeah.
from above, I know.
So it's just the lead vocal, but an octave higher, and then it looks like there's a low one. It's very sparsely used. It looks like I did use it in the last chorus though, just to give it some more beef up the vocals a bit.
Highest of the highs to the lowest of lows.
And I cannot go that any lower than that usually. That sounds like it's about the lowness, as low as I can go. But let's add all of these in one by one and hear how that kind of builds.
'Cause even when the sky is falling from above, I know we will always overcome. To the highest of the highs, through the lowest of lows. I know we have the power to grow.
Yeah. So that's it for the vocals pretty much. Like I said, I love vocal harmonies. So yeah, moving on. I'm going to kind of break down the different aspects of reggae music here a little bit. Shout out to Nathan Aurora from Ayatera for kind of showing me a lot of these little, what do you call them? These characteristics of reggae music, because I probably wouldn't have noticed it otherwise. So in reggae music, the bass is such a driving force. And the thing is, in reggae music, the bass is always pretty low in the mix as well. Or not low in the mix, but like there's not a lot of high end in the tones. It's a lot of sub. So what they do in reggae music is they add what's called either a shadow pick or a sticky line or a pluck guitar. It has 100 names, honestly. I've heard it called 100 things, but basically it's the bass line played on a palm muted guitar, and it just gives it a lot more, just emphasizes the bass line. For I like to call it the sticky line. On this, I actually tracked 2 different parts for it. I'm going to mute the bass so that you can focus on just the guitar part. So the first one I think I did with a wah pedal. So it just has like more of like a wow, 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 wow. Yeah. And then layered that with just a regular straight guitar part. And it gives it a kind of fluid motion. I really like the sound of it. I also, as you can see, I did a DI track and a mic'd up track, just so I could have as much control blending the tones as possible. Oh, there's some nice dub on there, nice echoes. Yeah, a pretty common thing with reggae music is to put effects like delays and reverbs on the tracks intermittently. There's a whole subgenre of reggae music called dub, where it's just like the songs and then they're overdubbed with a bunch of effects, and they chop out certain parts and bring them in at different points. It's cool. One of my favorites. But basically, if you can look over here, there's a lot of different effects going on here, a lot of different delays. You can see the different ones going off. Moving on from that, one of my favorite things in reggae music is the bubble. And that is basically like the chords you're playing. Your right hand is doing the actual beats, like the down beats on the 2 and the 4 with the guitars, and then the left hand is doing all the eighth note up beats in between, and it gives the song such like the bouncy feel it has, which sounds like this.
Going round and round, finding then came in the rap.
So yeah, when we were mixing this, I didn't know too much about. Calm down. I didn't know too much about basically just how to get that reggae bubble tone I was hearing. So I did what I could with what I had and layered a few tracks together to actually get the sound that I got. This is kind of like an emulation of a B3 organ. This one was a free plugin I found on the internet. And this one's more there just for the percussiveness of the low end. And then there's an ocarina preset that gives it a more, I don't know how to describe that, kind of like a just fluid, floaty type feeling. And then layered all together. Sounds like that. So, also, something that's typically common in reggae music is the auxiliary percussion section. So anything like bongos, djembes, woodblock, stuff like that. It's kind of sparse in this song, but it is there. I believe the only part where there's really a lot of auxiliary percussion in this song is the drum and bass section right at the beginning. If I just mute, if I only have the drums play. And I'll do it real quick just with the auxiliary stuff. And so moving on to the drums for this song, the drums were recorded on an electronic drum kit. So it was actually Derek playing, but it was actually feeding MIDI signals into the computer, which triggered a virtual drum kit because we didn't have the means of recording a drum kit that would sound really good on the album. So the best option was just the electric one with superior drummer samples. Those ended up sounding like this. So with the drum beats in the song, something I kind of wanted to do was have a part where it builds and also kind of showcases the classic reggae drum beats you hear a lot of the time. So for the bridge section of this song, the drums come in with a 1 drop, which is where basically the beat is dropped off the 1 and it's only on the 3. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's what that first part is. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop it out there. 2. And then it goes into what's called a rocker, which is where the kick's on the 1, snare on the 3. Some more aux percussion there as well. From there, most of the song is what's called a stepper, which is that 4 to the floor, just kick drum on every single beat, and gives the song a lot of forward momentum. Yeah. So moving on from that, The last thing I guess I can show here is these little leads that are in the chorus here. So I wrote this part on the organ here, and it's actually what inspired the lead vocal melody in the song. So that just sounds like this. So yeah, and then from that came the melody for the chorus. Let me see if there's anything else I can go over here. Oh, I can kind of dive into the ending a bit. So I don't know. I always thought it's so cool when I'm listening to a song, at least in the reggae genre, and there's just something you don't expect, like a dubstep type bass drop or a heavy guitar riff or something. So I am by no means a dubstep producer or EDM producer, but I wanted to try my hand at it for this song because I knew I wanted to have a song that just ended, or at some point at least had some kind of wub-wubs in it. And yeah, I'll break into it a little bit. All of the sounds on here are from free plugins as well. This one is on Reactor 6 by Native Instruments, the TRK01 bass. That's how I got the wub-wubs for this song. And those are layered in there with a little lead that's kind of following the bass line as well. I believe that's the same plugin as well. Oh no, this is the Keylab, which came with the keyboard right here. Yeah. What else is there? This thing comes in. I believe this is also on the Keylab. Basically just trying to make it as nasty as possible. Just kind of like almost just like a climactic ending to the song, because the song is kind of supposed to be like triumphant and taking pride in your community and the people who hold you up, and just that triumphant feeling of you can do anything as long as you got your homies with you, essentially. So yeah, I believe that's basically everything for this track. Hope you all enjoyed this. I hope this wasn't too, I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I'm not used to the whole YouTube thing, but we'll get used to it. Songs available everywhere you can listen to music: Spotify, Apple Music. We've got a visualizer for it here on YouTube. And yeah, new music coming at the end of this month, a new album dropping very soon. Be on the lookout for that, and I will see y'all next time.